Hey, welcome to another episode of the You Only Live Once Life in Business Innovation Style Meditations, Yummy Conversations. I'm Honey. Today, bringing you another episode on motivation, because with big dreams come big energy that's needed, and then big motivation that needed to execute that so that you can actually get the dreams that you've been dreaming of. And sometimes we get lost, and sometimes we lose momentum, and sometimes life takes us down. And this is where you're going to get 5 steps and 5 things you can do right now to jumpstart that motivation and get that energy in your body.
Yeah, I love making these videos because we get to reference it on our own and, look back and reflect on them. Yeah, and usually carry that momentum, that positive energy onwards. Yeah, so we was having a discussion off camera, and it got pretty deep, and we was just like, wait a minute, this is an awesome time to kind of
turn it on and share it back to you.
But that's part of one of the affirmations that I try to do daily is, like, what are these little steps that I can do to get me closer? And that is record, edit, and publish, right?
Absolutely.
So first step is hit that record button. Next step is edit, make sure that, everything is clear, concise, and hit that publish button.
And for you, what is it that you need motivation to right now? There's always a time in your life where you have had that motivation before. So the first step is always to tap into the times and the energy level, because motivation is energy. If you can tap into that motivation right now, then how can you allow yourself to actually feel that right in this particular second? So the first step is really harness it. Notice that you're not motivated, and then switch your brain, switch your mind, and then access the motivation that you've had before.
Yeah, because it's always like energy. Everything is already there. You just kind of sometimes get in your own way. So you just kind of figure out, okay, I am going there. But then distractions happen, right? You just see those shiny toys, and those knock you off course. So you want to just tap in back into that energy that got you on that track in the first place.
Exactly. So instead of going to the bed, or instead of going into social media, or instead of going into a whole different distraction world, refocus, find that strength, find that core, and then tap into the motivation. So number 2 is, once you've actually tapped into that motivation and can feel it in your body, can use any of the meditations and using your breath to breathe that in if you're a visceral person and kinesthetic person, then the next step is to increase and harness that. How can you expand that energy? How can you actually make it so that you can get off of your butt and do something about it?
Yeah, harness it. Is you want to capture all of that and place it somewhere, right? It could be in your work, like a project or something, or a way that you journal. A great way to harness that motivation is actually kind of writing stuff down, your big goals, your dreams, your aspirations, and keeping it somewhere that you have easy access to, right? A great motivator is these videos that we're doing right now, right? This is a great way of actually harnessing exactly the motivation. Is okay, we're documenting this process right now, and
this process of creating content and creating community and reaching out to you and bringing you closer and to your own goals.
Yeah, and then we have direct access to it, so we can always go to our channels wherever it lies and then rewatch this video and oh, look at this, lightning in a bottle. And that's a great way to harness that, and then we go into the next step.
So whatever it is that you're doing on a daily basis that brings you closer and closer to your goal, that motivation is necessary to keep going. Don't stop. So the number 3 thing that you got to do in this 5 different steps is you've got to do something right now. So the moment you tapped into it and then you've harnessed it, like we talked about, then you need to start turning that into action. You need to turn that energy into kinetic energy. You need to turn it into energy that moves you forward. So what is the small step you can do right now just to get this to the next step? You can harness the energy from us right now as well, from the video, to kind of push you forth. So why don't you just pause this video and take that next step?
Yeah, and that next step builds momentum. Momentum is so crucial, because that's also energy as well. And if you're a physics person, momentum is just going to constantly building upon itself. So once you harnessed it and build that momentum, it's just going to continue to carry it. But then just when you get all that momentum, we go into that 4th step, right?
Or that the fourth step to build the momentum.
Yeah. So yeah, the fourth step is to build momentum. So once you get that momentum, like that's from taking that action, right? That doing something now. So the fourth step is building that momentum. But then when you get that momentum, you hit it.
You hit it.
Yeah,
you balance it.
Yeah, balance
because so the fifth point is you've got to balance that momentum. So no matter how much momentum that goes on and on and on, you don't want to just throw yourself into these like 20-hour, 18-hour, 16-hour days
sprints,
nonstop. Like I've actually had a friend, entrepreneur, who started this incredible fellowship program for other entrepreneurs and students, college students in Bali, and he was saying the first 2 weeks that they were working on this project, they were coming to work every single day at a co-working space, and they were literally doing 10, 12, 14 hours, and everyone was not admitting it, but they were all burnt out, and they were completely drained, doing too much with too little results and just not taking care of their bodies. And when that happens, it can take you out for months. Luckily,
and then
they
that
switched.
Drains you too, and then that's basically why after a burnout is when people typically want more motivation, right? That's you want to avoid getting to that point, right? So that's where balancing it out and not emptying all that tank. You want to keep some of that in reserve so that you use it when it's needed, right? So basically motivation is people are always seeking motivation after a burnout. So you want to avoid that, all right? So instead, take your time, one foot in front of the other, and just be patient, because you want to avoid that burnout before it that cycle repeats itself.
And also just understanding as well, what fills you up with energy. Is it your family that fills you up with energy? Is it, doing things for yourself that is unrelated to work that fills you up with energy? And just doing little bits of that so you balance the energy in and energy out can also create that balance for you. So step number 5 is, as you're doing these momentumous things and as you're taking a different action and moving things forward, also understand that you have to take some time for yourself. Obviously, don't go over it and overindulge in all this energy, because then you'll have to restart the whole process to get kickstarted again. But definitely remember to fill your cup again. So these were the 5 positive motivations that you can use in different ways in your life so that you can get your butt moving. Subscribe, like, comment which one works for you. And share. And head on his channel for more motivating, inspirational and different content for his journey. And then also follow this journey so that you can see how we're growing and connecting with even more positive people so that they can live positive in their lives and positive in their work. Talk to you soon. Bye.